Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the counselor's office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor, the counselor that encourages you to use critical thinking and not to be a corpo slave. That's right. Don't be the ball fondler for billion-dollar companies that don't give a crap about you, specifically video games. I'm in the video game department. That's where my zone is, the auto zone. Today, we've got drama. Aztecross, one of the most, probably, if you were to compare him to Dado, I think Aztecross has more impact in gaming, the gaming audience, than even Dado does. Dado, sure, Dado does Destiny, but outside of that, his reach, not as strong as Aztecross. And Aztecross has not been saying very nice things about Marathon, which has caused the loony bin to break out. To break out of the asylum. That's right. The Marabots are desperately trying to attack Aztecross. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. Before we jump into that, we've got to do it. We've got ourselves the comment of the day. Comment of the day. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The comment today is by Vibing Vampire. What a name. These marathon toe suckers are not retarded. They're just stupid. People who are actually retarded are way smarter. Let's just get this out of the way. Retard no longer means what it used to be. People who are mentally disabled are disabled. They're mentally handicapped, mentally challenged. That's those people. They have some form of disability that hinders their ability to, be normal in the thought process. But when we talk about retards, these are people that have intelligence but never use it. That's what retard means today. It does not mean anything insulting to the people that are disabled. In fact, I would say some of the smartest people that I know are mentally challenged in some degree, but unfortunately, Marabots are just retarded. They have intelligence, but you'll never see them use it. Back to the show. I love that fucking transition. Being able to say that on the fly. Being able to have work. By the way, I can make it to where I can give chat the command and they could type it and transition for me. That's a bad idea, but I could do it if I wanted to. Now, I'm hoping that I'm smart enough to put chat on here. And as I look through, I'm realizing I'm not smart. All right, so it does show up. Here we have drama with the, pretty popular Aztecross. Why did it change my ye to a yes? I feel what? Anyways, we have Aztecross, and we're gonna react to hopefully all of this, but people are so desperate to villainize Aztecross. And see, this is the thing. This is the part of the Bungie community is that when they don't like you or they have nothing intelligent, they have zero, they have a low IQ, zero brain cells. Instead of coming up with a logical counter argument or anything logical to kind of, you give reasons why you don't like a thing, instead of saying, well, X, Y, Z, this is why it's good. Instead, they just try to find some way to discredit you and make it more of a personal attack. Now, we do a lot of personal attacks, and the fact that we make fun of people, it's because these people generally aren't, they're not here for an actual conversation, and most of the time they're unhinged. And you can't have a normal conversation with unhinged people. And this is a perfect example of what I mean about unfreaking hinged. Now, I don't know what the video says, but I know the reaction to this has been far and wide. Now, the question is, how did we get here? Well, we're going to travel back in time just a little bit, and we're going to react to this video called Old Bungie Game Director Speaks Out. Apparently, this video set a lot of things in motion that we're going to react to. And I'm going to fast track it because I'm going to try to get through both these videos to just really see what is going on. But a lot of these Marabots have lost their damn mind. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to find out why is everyone trying to villainize Aztecross for these, a couple videos, clips. Let's jump in and find out together, shall we?
Round of tweets? No, what's that? My thoughts on vaulting contents. There's a few legitimate reasons.
Okay, he's a lot faster talker. So my bad. We want to be faster, but we don't want to be that fast.
This exists. One is HTTP space. On consoles, all the content just won't fit on core systems.
By the way, this is, if people are wondering what Christopher Barrett's saying here, this is a response to people now being able to access the Destiny content vault and people wondering, okay, if people can access the Destiny content vault, what's the excuse here? And Christopher Barrett has been chiming in about this. So just to kind of give some clarification, this is kind of like a jump scare, like, whoa, Christopher Barrett, what are we here for? That's the context, just so you know.
Another is base install size for new players. The last is the development burden of testing all content when new things are added, such as new weapons, abilities, features. I agree that these reasons aren't acceptable for players. The potential solution would to be that on console, content is removed, re-downloaded as players choose specific content, or to rotate content that is available seasonally. The on-the-fly solution still has a poor user experience, as you can't match players who have different content downloaded even on PC due to crossplay, or need to have long wait times while content downloads before playing. I think the seasonal rotation solution is a much better one, but does make seasonal updates much larger downloads.
Now, I know we're trying to react to what people are getting upset to, but I have to react to this in my own regard. People are right. When people said that old consoles was holding Destiny back, here's the proof in the pudding. Old consoles should have been let go. I'm sorry, that's going to piss some people off, but I'm going to make it very loud and clear. I would rather old consoles get the boot than we lose content. Just saying.
The burden of testing old content sucks for development, but feels like a necessary burden, and one that could be streamlined with automated testing and player-accessible beta branches. TLDR, even if there isn't an ideal solution, taking away content players pay for isn't the best one. Oh, this is a reply to Grums here. Vaulting content like this should be a crime. So talking about Destiny content vaulting. We did a project.
And here's the thing. I've seen people talk about, oh my God, Aztecross, he's reacting to grunge. He's a right winger. Oh my God, I used to like Aztecross, but now he reacts to grunge. He's giving grunge attention. Oh my God, guys. Some of the most insufferable people are people that don't understand nuance and don't understand that even if you don't like grums, which that could be fair. I'm not saying either here or there. Just because someone reacts to them doesn't mean that they agree with them. If that was the case, I would agree with some of the crazy shit that Asmongold has said on his videos. And when I reacted to a lot of his videos, I was like, bro, even I didn't want to have a conversation about some of the shit that he said. And that's fine. We're all different. Just because you react to someone doesn't mean you agree with them. That's the part of reacting.
Streaming system for Firefall, where the high textures were on CDN and loaded as you roamed the world. Since we used mega textures, it was pretty much essential to keep install sizes down. There's a real problem on consoles, perhaps letting them download optional chapters, not replay might have worked. Yet one solution would increase a matchmaking headache in an MMO. That's why I think seasonal rotation of content would thread the needle. Everyone has the same install and it's fun when the content comes back. This is just cope using consoles as an excuse. I will say consoles are, that is the limiting hardware there.
Everyone knows it's the case.
Here's where the Destiny content vaulting was a problem. The destinations getting vaulted sucked, but it was the story getting vaulted
that is massive. Like, he's spitting facts. A bunch of games that was an old consoles dropped off a few years ago after they released, or if the studio wanted to support old consoles, they had another version, for example, Battlefield. The removing of the new player experience is just unforgivable. Maybe people could forgive if they remove like War of Mine and Curse of Osiris. Forsaken should have never been oh my God, Forsaken should have never been removed.
It was the fact that people didn't get to experience Red War. I'd love to re-experience Red War campaign.
I would too.
So, Red War
in the up-to-date sandbox, experiencing Red War would have been phenomenal.
And Forsaken, those are two very pivotal pieces to the storyline that players should experience for context, but also just for the experience itself. Those are really good experiences. It broke the story for the new player, man. But here's the issue. Vanilla, or Red War campaign, and Forsaken, both of those expansions were tied to destinations. Think about the campaign, where it took place, where those campaigns took place, was tied to destinations. Well, they had to get rid of, or they said they had to get rid of destinations because of the issue of space. Right? Take away the space. Where do you play the campaigns on? So how does Warframe keep all, the content install size so low. That's the other side of things. It's like, what on the technical side, is it possible? You know what I mean? Obviously, it seems like it's possible with DE and what they do with Warframe. Warframe devs
okay, well,
have said they have a strict limit to the number of polygons everything has, as small as possible, alongside many other optimizations. It's almost like making sure your system can deal with the weight of 10 years of development should be a high priority for a long-term live service plan. The problem is this. Again, it's not me making excuses for Bungie, but we were supposed to be on Destiny 4 by now. Destiny was just...
That's true. You remember Activision? Was it Activision? Yeah, Activision was like, yo, we're going to crank these out like Call of Duties. In fact, that's why Destiny 2 was treated like Call of Duty. It was no random roles. It was intended to be esports ready. And, well, that really didn't take off, did it?
Ever built with long-term optimization in mind. Really, the solution to it was, yeah, it might be bloated and unoptimized, but we're going to be moving to the next Destiny.
Lost content, by the way. We'll never have that.
That would have been essentially, you know, resets. That's the Call of Duty model, but that's what Activision wanted. Christopher Barrett talks about D3. Okay, here we go. Hold on. I hope one day you could tell us about the D2 sequel, D3, and the Veil Pyramid race. Like, we know it existed and wasn't a fake. We have quite some evidence after all those years, but it would be so nice to hear what it would have been and what the story of the Veil race was going to be. Christopher Barrett says it was leaked by an Activision employee, if I recall correctly.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting. Never knew the Nine was an Activision employee, but makes sense as to how the leak was so detailed. And then people found a lot of remnants of the Veil Pyramid race in the game files of Shadowkeep, and even Lightfall had an unfinished Veil unit model. Hold up now. What am I reading here? We had a Veil Pyramid race.
You didn't know that? Bro, he didn't know that? Yeah, that was the big scandal. Console thing was a bit more nuanced. Ultimately, it was decisioned by the studio to not optimize or modify code for consoles. You can do it, but ultimately most choose not to and just leave it at that.
It wasn't the witness. Seth right here says, or hear me out, Destiny 3 instead of an engine update that deletes half the game.
Yes.
That's a different topic. Either solve the content issue and change the name back to Destiny, or do D3. Not really a different topic. It's a solution to the problem you laid out, but I know things are complicated and that there isn't a magic bullet. Also, hindsight's 2020. I know that because I was on board with the game living forever. Don't lose Vault mentality at that point in time. I'll be honest, guys. Ideally, yeah, I would love a Destiny Infinity, but the game's got to be able to. It's got to be able to scale. You know, yeah. It's got to be able to scale. And to be quite honest with you, if a D3 came out tomorrow, would I play the shit out of it? Absolutely. Would it eventually run into the same problems?
It's funny. Someone said in my comment section, y'all a bunch of hypocrites. You know that if Bungie dropped a D3, you'd be playing it. And I said, you are absolutely correct. There's a bunch of Stockholm Syndrome Andes that would play it, even though it wouldn't be done by any of the actual Destiny 2 team. It would be done by the Marathon team because that's the only one left at Bungie, and I wouldn't trust them to make a fucking good Destiny game. Now, if it was made by a different studio, you bet your ass I would give it a try just to see what the other studio can do with the franchise. I would absolutely, but by Bungie, like current Bungie, no shot. And even if they didn't fire the Destiny 2 team, I would still not trust that they can make a Destiny 3 if they didn't get fired. But yeah, as it stands, current Bungie ain't doing shit.
Talk about from like a creative standpoint. I'm talking about from a content bloating standpoint. If it has the same optimization as Destiny 2, D3 will also run into the same problem. It's a straight up problem. It is such a major issue that in my opinion, I would have been okay if Bungie came out and said, hey, listen, we're about to take the next couple of years overhauling this shit. Now, could they have made it? When I say made it, like, would they have been insolvent by the end of those 2 years? Potentially. So that's probably why they didn't do it. But I wish they would have. I wish they could have. I mean, I'm curious if anybody wants to come out and actually talk about, I guess, D3 stuff. This is why you guys needed to make D3. It's unacceptable that we lose content we paid for. The Witch Queen would have been a perfect start for a new game. Was it my call, unfortunately? Did you or any developers at a similar level push for a D3, or was it always made clear it wasn't happening? I pushed for no D2 originally, just continually Destiny MMO. But at some point, definitely pushed for a D3.
That would have been great.
I worked for about 6 months on a D2 sequel. Jesus. That would have been post-Forsaken if that was the case. I even worked for about 6 months on a D2 sequel. So wow. Again, Christopher Barrett, Scott Taylor, that whole squad. If you remember going into Forsaken, this was the same group that was in all the buy docs for the Forsaken expansion.
And listen, no matter what their personal reason is, these were people that made fucking Forsaken. Listen, that team, whew, I'd trust they'd make something.
After Forsaken, though, many of those guys ended up moving on to Marathon. But if I'm understanding this timeline correctly from Christopher Barrett, if he's saying they worked 6 months on a D2 sequel, then maybe during that time frame before they moved to Marathon, they were actually in fact working on what would have been Destiny 3. Vaulting content, other things played a factor also. Beyond Light was on Engine 3.0, which I believe is actually the standalone engine for Destiny 3 at the time. Nobody has really confirmed this, but it's clear Destiny 2 was meant to end Light D1 at some point and stay content complete, in my opinion. Would have been the best option. At some point, the choice was to make to continue on Destiny 2 only. So content from Destiny 2 was then ported over to Engine 3.0. So the reason for vaulting was not just to remove and slim down the game. It was because the bandwidth was not available to port everything to Engine 3.0 and test it basically. Making any decision that invalidates existing content in a live game seems like it wasn't the best choice. Yeah, that was the idea with Beyond Lights, was that things would get taken out of the game, would get overhauled for, as he's calling it, Engine 3.0, and then put back into the game. Obviously, that didn't happen. My question to you
that
guys,
didn't happen at all.
If Beyond Light would have started Destiny 3, I actually feel like that would have been the perfect moment for it.
Yeah.
Think about it. The aspect and fragment system. I mean, it sucks because there's a lot of stuff you would have left behind. We would have started with stasis.
But the difference is that you could still play it. Like, you can go back and play Destiny 1 complete. Nothing from Destiny 1 was removed. And that's the difference, and that people don't understand. They use this argument all the time about the DCV and having a new game. Well, you lose all your stuff. No, you don't. You can go and play Destiny 2 in its complete form and play Destiny 1 in its complete form and then go to Destiny 3 and have it. You can play everything from beginning to end to have the complete story, but you can't do that if you literally remove the content from the game.
The strange thing would be, though, we would all have been playing stasis. Modular download was the way, sure, but still is a matchmaking headache. Do you only queue with people with the same content matrix? Do you wait 20 minutes while a guy downloads a strike on shitty internets? I get the idea. I didn't think about the matchmaking issue. That's actually a very fair point. It just seems like it's all, it's one of those things. It's like, do you want to take your pain now or take it later? I think the vaulting of content in 2020, we kind of overlooked it because there was the hope that, it's like, all right, we're getting behind the whole bringing back content to us once it's been, essentially revamped to the new engine, if you will. Things really became apparent in Destiny when we started hitting these content lows. But that's when you want to look for stuff to replay. And, if you can't go back and replace shit, then that really amplifies the issue of vaulting. The PR talk they had on it made it sound like it's going to come back pretty quickly, or they'll have content to replace it quickly.
That was a big issue, is that Bungie is so, like, Bungie is the snake oil sellers. They know exactly what to say to sell you the snake oil. They've always been really good at, convincing you, like, don't worry, guys, everything's going to be great. It wasn't great.
Yeah, that was my thoughts too. You were a senior employee at the time, though. I imagine largely focused on Marathon. Do you know if there was the view that in the future, all of the content would become playable again? If previous generations were to be dropped, could the content have been added to the game again? No idea. Someone else was running D2 when that was decided. Someone else. Luke Smith was running D2. I like, when Luke and Mark knows where they would present stuff to us, and they just had the unfortunate job with that shit. Sincere question, not trying to troll or bait. How does Final Fantasy 14 manage it compared against what Destiny 2 did? I don't know. Haven't looked into it, honestly. Less heavy content resources. How is Final Fantasy 14 on console? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't even know how big Final Fantasy 14
Never played
is.
it.
Isn't Final Fantasy 14 dropping last in consoles, though? After 8.0, Final Fantasy dropped PS4. I mean,
there you go. Smart.
I've asked this for a long time. Like, for whatever reason, Destiny refused to drop old-gen consoles.
So
and I
stupid.
wonder how big of a limiting factor that was. Granted, Sunset, it took place way before that, though. Destiny 2 community would have plummeted over how many people still had old-gen consoles. Yeah, and they needed sales, too. That's probably why they didn't do an Edge of Fate. Yep. It's all tough, dude. It's all tough.
Okay, so that's the main. This video kicked it off. We did our little mini reaction, but overall, the two things I saw was that he reacted mostly to Christopher Barrett, and then he had a moment where he reacted to Grums, who was reacting to Sunsetting, and somehow people are out of their way to try to make Aztecross look like a villain. This Aztecross shit is actually getting out of hand. He was reacting to tweets about technical DCV shit. He wasn't sucking off Grums or Christopher Barrett. How are we supposed to have discussion about Marathon with these people when they are this crazed? Always worry about making Cross a villain more than the problems plaguing your own community and game. Yeah, let's be honest. I'm going to say this right now. If you think trying to make Cross a villain is going to work, you might as well take a hammer and bash your brains out. You might as well, because that's what you're doing. You might as well, because that's what you're doing to yourself. No one will ever take you seriously And it's always these little nobody Marabots that think that they're hot shit because I get a couple likes on Twitter. My group therapy said that I was right because it gave me likes on Twitter. This man has millions of subscribers, thousands and thousands of viewers on his streams, and no one knows who the fuck you are. No one knows who the fuck these losers who like marathon. No, not even average Joes. The average Joes, average Joes don't even fuck with Aztecross. It is the most brain dead Marabots who think that they have any kind of control, power, or influence that they can actually, change people's perception of Aztecross. Like they're gonna take him down. The only thing you're taking down is people's brain cells by being around you. People are going after Cross. Who are we fighting, Blue? Some marathon people calling out Cross a right-wing grifter now. No, man, you don't get it. He's been a grifter right-wing guy. You can't see it. It's so obvious. Yes, people are now calling. It's funny. Cross, who's actually played probably more than most people who are actually grifting, played marathon more than most people, but he's grifting. And that's another thing. You can tell someone's intelligence by the fact that they, oh my God, we got Zealous subscribed with a tier 1. I'm assuming that's over on Twitch. Thank you. I'm going to do it live and for the vid. We always shout out the peoples. Thank you. What's wrong with these? Not Zealous. That's a weird, we're returning back to the conversation. What is wrong with these Marabots? That you're going to try to villainize one of the most popular Bungie streamers. I'm sorry? Huh? Good luck with that. Not only will you absolutely murder any reputation or any influence you have, but anything that maybe some people might have taken you serious on, no one's going to take you serious on. No one, not a damn person. Aztecross haters are some of the most deranged people I've seen on this app. Destiny fans, not Aztecross haters. It's not even Destiny fans. What are you talking about? And the Marabots like this. By the way, just so you know, not even this person, Marabots have a hive mind. Just so you know, this person right here was even rejected by Bungie themselves. This person, multiple times, Bungie said, we're not letting you be part of if Bungie doesn't want you part of their creator program, then that tells you everything you need to know. These people want to villainize Aztecross. Let me tell you, you are committing reputational suicide. You might as well just bash your career or any chances of being a content creator into the head. But yes, we have, I leave for one effing day and big things happening. And isn't it funny? Hollowtide, another Marabot. And all he says is honestly, fantastic video. And then we have another Marabot turtle. Honestly, fantastic video. He says, as the creator targets specific non-Bungie accounts that are fan related and adds them to a BBL. His account name is Gizos, which means that Gizos was already permanently banned once. Zealous, thank you for that little nugget. You are right. It means that they were banned once. I wonder why he was banned. I wonder. BBL list he brags he has on Twitter, all while claiming we shouldn't politicize things because it causes problems and takes away from the game issues. And got it. I used to look up to you, man. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. So let's see. What is this video? What is this fantastic video? We have to know, why is Aztecross a right wing now?
Let's get right into it, man. So I saw this tweet from a person on Twitter called Garm, who actually has me blocked.
Gorm?
It says, Aztecross just uploaded a video unironically including Grums and Christopher Barrett as reliable sources. I'm fucking done laughing my fucking ass off. But then Giancarlo quoted it, who is a well-known BBL.
I don't know what BBL means. Someone can, yes, problems. I want someone to explain in the chat what BBL means, but I'm going to tell you it's a Marabot.
Demon, so he doesn't have me blocked, so he is on my BBL Demon Twitter list. From this
I don't know what BBL means.
Cross. I don't like the way I say his name, Aztecross. Shit name. I also don't want to come off as like a big super fan of Cross or anything like that. I defend him a lot in my videos, but that's just because these people bring him up first. Instead of focusing on like the actual problems of their game or within the community, they just hand it away by
holy shit, true!
Saying, oh, well, Cross is just a right-wing grifter. Like, come on, man. Are you serious? Even if he was a right-wing guy, like, I'm pretty sure he's a dad.
Just wait until they start accusing him of being a PDF. Just wait. It will happen.
Southerner. I don't think he's collaborated with any LGBTQ figures. So after taking all of this into consideration, I'm going to hold your hand when I tell you this, okay? As a lefty myself, all right, I am the son of immigrant parents who come from a marginalized ethnic background. All right, I'm gonna hold your hand when I tell you.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't fucking matter, you donut. The personal political views of a content creator do not change technical facts about game development.
And listen, that is true. You can dislike. I'll use a perfect example. Monty O'Donnell, right? Marty O'Donnell. A lot of people don't like him for his political. That's great. He makes fucking banging music. I don't give a shit about his political. I don't care. He's a banging like artiste when it comes to what he makes song wise. He made some of the most iconic fucking music. I do not give a shit what your beef is with him. I'm going to continue listening to the music he made. Fuck you. Like you. It is so funny. These are the same damn people that say you need to separate the art from the artist. Like when people are shit talking Bungie, and yet they don't do that here. Like, huh?
If Cross was suddenly talking about marginalized demographics or identity politics, it wouldn't be out of left field for people to say, well, Cross, you kind of come off as a right-wing guy sometimes. Me personally, I don't believe Cross is going down to the voting booth in 2024 like, you know what, I'm going to vote for Kamala. She's going to up my food stamps. I don't think so. A video about software updates isn't a political campaign.
No.
Don't turn technical analysis into political arguments. It's counterproductive. It's immature. It
also makes people not give a shit about what you say because they're like, are you schizophrenic? Bro, we're talking about video games and you're talking about Aztecross is against gay people. What? We're talking about video games. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Go take your medicine.
Stinks. And it gives right-wing people ammo. Now, here's what I'll say. Don't let right-wing people bully you. When you bring politics into stuff like this, it makes you seem like a trauma victim and they want you to be a victim. Do not give them that satisfaction.
I think he meant left-wing. I don't know.
Plant yourself like a tree and stay focused. I don't know. Maybe you didn't do bullying workshops as a kid when you were like 6 years old in school or whatever. Most of you are American and we all know American education is terrible. When he's...
Listen. The real high school education starts by paying for it. 2024 Harris makes Telesto bugged again. There you go. Let's be honest. Real high school education, you don't get it. You go straight to college and get all your education. You have to go to college to get real education. You have to pay for it. That's when you know you're actually getting good education, is when you actually have to pay for it. If you pay for it, you know it's good because it's a business. But let's be honest, as bad as American education is, let's not talk about the rest of the world, because at least we have our freedom of speech. Listen, it's a trade. Education, freedom of speech.
Says, I care about Destiny more than Marathon. I'd rather play Destiny. I don't care about Marathon. You guys just go, you, right-wing, grifter. Like, it's just so parasocial. So first off, Giancarlo, I want to say, what fall off, man? The political fall off? When was Aztecross a political figure?
True!
When he was playing Marathon and making content for it, was he left-wing? The reason why people label Aztecross as a right-wing grifter is because most Marathon haters are just blind right-wing people. But that
Aztecross just uploaded a video ironically including Grims.
People, but that doesn't mean Aztecross is suddenly just some disgusting.
Also, it doesn't mean that he represents those people. I have people in when I'm going to be in there were I try not to censor my comment section because I believe in freedom of speech, even if it's egregious. Now, if it's too egregious, you know, I have to delete some comments. Like, I'll be honest. But generally, I'll let people fight and bitch and have what they want in the comment section. They don't represent me. It is I try to like there's some push where I'll be like, okay, freedom of speech, but it's still my channel. Bop. Like, I'm not going to sit there and have us having screaming matches if we're spamming and stuff like that. But, you know, generally, your belief is your belief. I'm not going to sit there and be like, censor. If you guys can have a conversation, argue with each other if you don't agree with each other, or if you don't agree with me, that's fine. No, they're applying those tags because pea-sized brains are incapable of processing the fact that other opinions exist. Therefore, everyone who isn't them is a right-wing grifter, or anyone that is against Marathon is just a right-wing grifter, which is becoming just some weird nonsense. Because sure, you could argue that there's some grifting accounts that are more right-wing leaning, but when you take everyone and group them up and put them in the bundle, you are making more enemies than what you need. Kamala is a Democrat and left wing is that.
Right wing, toxic, grifting, transphobic, homophobic, racist, bigot. And then they start saying stuff like, yeah, but it probably will become one. It's just like, you start to genuinely wonder, like, how do these people start thinking like this? So let's actually look at this tweet here. Aztecross never referred to or included Grums or Christopher Barrett as reliable sources in this video.
No.
So this is what Garm is doing. Garm is creating a fake quote to manifest out.
It's called intellectual dishonesty. What did I miss this time? Jess, you're just gonna have to back it up. You're gonna have to back the stream up. We've already jumped. We're like 30 minutes in. You're just gonna have to back that ass up. Put reverse. Keep politics out of gaming. I agree. And if it is politics, keep it in-game world politics. I don't like. Listen, there's a lot of in-game politic games. I don't like, it's fine. It's whatever, right? Like Metal Gear Solid, let's be honest, has politics in it. But it's in-game politics. I don't care about real world shit. I want to live in, you know, my video game world when I get off and I take my pants off. You know, I just want to sit there and sit down and have a good time. That sounds really weird, but I'm talking about video games.
Rage. Let me actually tell you what happens in the video. By the way, I'm going to slide this in here. I actually have Grums blocked and muted on Twitter, so don't even try that shit with me. Anyway, back to what I was saying. He opens the tweet on stream, and it's basically just Christopher Barrett talking about technical dev details, like the DCV, console storage limit.
And that's a big piece. Keep politics gaming is wrong. Politics is not the problem. Retards are the problem. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But unfortunately, politics brings in a lot of the a lot of the low IQ people. Let's be honest. So that's why I'd rather not deal with it. Let escapism be escapism. Exactly. Marabots calling Aztecross a right winger. Yes. What was I saying? Yeah. So in the context of what we watched, Aztecross enters waters wet. Shocker. You're right, Zealous. Like, in the context of what we watched with Aztecross, he was reacting to someone that has knowledge, that worked on the game previously and has knowledge and understanding. Again, you don't have to like Christopher Barrett. You don't have to agree with him or believe that he's innocent, but he's giving information that about the game that he worked on, that his prior issues does not discredit what knowledge he provides. Like, I hate this conception that the moment you have a scandal or if there's something that happens, your opinion or your knowledge base suddenly is unacceptable or uncreditable. I don't, it's just, no, that's not how that works. You can think someone's a piece of shit and yet they still have knowledge at the same time. It's the particular brand of politics that meant to represent the world we live in today. I just don't like dealing with politics. I'm gonna be honest.
Engine upgrades.
You can never. I've learned here. You know what I think about politics? Politics. When you really think about politics is like STDs. No one wants it, but everyone will try to shove it down your mouth.
Destiny 3 concepts. That's it. And the tweet originated from a quote of Grum's where he's just playing Destiny 2 and saying this shouldn't have been voted. He's playing the Red War campaign or whatever. And then he reads out a discussion that Grum's has with Barrett where they're talking about texture streaming. Okay, so I just actually sat here and I held left click on the right side of the video to make it 2x speed. And then he just reads out tweets where he's talking to people about like the content vault and engine upgrades and shit. That's it. That's the video. I triple checked. I haven't watched this much. I was
surprised too. I have to say, watching the Aztecross video was surprising. People, you would have thought that Aztecross talked about Nazis or something, but no, he just reacted to someone who was knowledgeable about the situation. He just essentially gave you the here's the script and then gave his opinion on it. He wasn't sitting there like, Christopher Barrett, you taste so good. Christopher Barrett, you taste so good. Like, what?
Aztecross content since he made that video about microtransactions. Is this your right-wing grifting villain? Is this the leader of the hate campaign? Someone who has hundreds of hours and honestly will probably play the game again if it improves. Is this someone you want to peg as your villain?
We'll see.
Marathon community, you have some of the weakest ops I've ever seen in my life.
Yes!
You have to invent quotes to make your point. You have to attack someone's political beliefs that you don't even know.
Yes!
And you downplay the past problems of the studio that are affecting
Marabots have to play the victim, and then if they're not the victim, they have to make bullshit up to be like, oh my god, this Aztecross is now grifting and he's hurting the game. Oh my god, he's now right wing. We can't.
Game you like right now in my
Jesse gave 1,000 jewels, gifted goated trophy. That's on YouTube, by the way. That's crazy. I didn't see that.
I praised the hit reg and the servers of this game. I look like an idiot now because ever since then, I don't know what's happened. The hit reg has been awful.
It's been an ongoing issue. Oh, it's this guy. I've seen his clips. Oh my god. Yeah, the Marabots need to focus on their own damn game. This is dog shit. They're over here trying to play special ops with Aztecross.
Oh, dude, this destroyer is absolute one. Cracked? Destroyer cracked?
What?
Oh,
what?
So
No wreck this motherfucker, bro.
What the hell?
Right below you, right below me.
I don't even know this. I don't know if this.
I missed somehow.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if this song is copyrighted. I'm not to get copyrighted because I'm about to get beamed. I'm about to catch a stray. I didn't realize it. I might actually catch a stray. Oh my god. By the way, what the is that gun? Is it like is it a lean LFR shotgun? Okay. But yeah, like the registration in this. Hey yo, Hades with a 13 months. Wait, what's going on? My thing's not working. Oops. Uh-oh. I just realized that my GoXLR app crashed. So I'm not gonna break it right now. We're just gonna chill. I'll have to give you your celebration later. It's still going. Okay, I understand the hit registration
in the video was purely a byproduct of reacting to a Twitter thread. It wasn't an endorsement of his views or his platform. Briefly showing a public tweet on screen to explain a game engine discussion is just standard reaction video format. It's not political advocacy or personal alignment. It is foolish to disregard Christopher Barrett completely because he's a sex pest. I call him Christopher Where My Hug At Barrett. Like, I take the piss out of him too. His
Mr. Truth and Dare.
Workplace harassment and subsequent firing were entirely justified. He did that shit. He uses AI. personal misconduct does not magically invalidate being a 25-year Bungie veteran.
Exactly.
Yes, there is conflict of interest. Any statement he makes about Bungie's management is inherently self-serving. Oh my god, I had such great ideas, but the guy who was in charge of the game at the time ignored me. Yeah, how about you shut the fuck up, Chris?
Listen, he's making some banging comments. Like, you can criticize Christopher Barrett, but then still take some of the sauce of what he's saying or react to it.
So just disregard that. Apply some critical thinking and realize that Aztecross didn't end the video going, guys, Christopher Barrett, this guy is our guy, man. He's our guy. We need to listen to what he says, okay? He has all the source, bro. Just treat this like you would any primary source in journalism. You extract the verifiable.
It's Dust of Flowers from Lakimi. It's public domain. Doesn't matter. I've been copyrighted from classical music. That's the shit part about YouTube, is like, I've gotten copyrighted on even video game music, and I always have to do claims, and it's so annoying.
Technical content, like how Engine 3.0 handled ported assets and console memory, while filtering out the self-serving narrative spin from a disgruntled sexual deviant. If you have the energy to come at people for being political right-wing grifters with no evidence, instead of focusing on the problems actually plaguing your game, you should use some of that energy to think for yourself. There is a huge...
What? Marabots and thinking? Bro, they're called bots for a reason. They don't think. They have no brains.
Tribal shilling problem in Marathon. The same way there was one in Destiny. So I will always talk about it. Know your history or be doomed to repeat it. Do you want the same thing to happen to Marathon? Do you want to sit here arguing over who's right wing, who's a grifter, while the game bleeds?
Nothing will. And here's the thing: what you're doing is you're giving more. Like this is someone who has popularity more than you do, and you start slinging out right-wing grifters, or you call him a right-wing grifter. You know what's going to happen? Real right-wing grifters are going to get involved, and it's going to become political. And you know who's going to get shit on? Marathon. This will not help you. You like let's slightly political, but let's just be honest here. In America, Republicans have more control over the government, and more people are more leaning right nowadays. You know what you're going to do? You're going to bring people into the fold that you didn't want into the fold. You think you're being clever and cheeky, and you think you're gonna do Marathon a service by trying to discredit Aztecross, and meanwhile you are summoning your real enemies that you view as enemies, people you don't want. You're gonna get the real grifters, the real right wingers, because they're gonna come over and shit on you.
Players because of hit reg problems, lag, mundane metas, terrible loot wipes, economy breaking PvE modes? Or do you want to just faff about and resort to pearl clutching and moral grandstanding? Stop giving Aztecross attention.
Yeah.
Stop victimizing yourselves and be ready to accept some hard truths.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. Marabots want to play the victim. Oh, woe is me. The hate on the game is so forced. It's so unfair. I hate everything about it. Tried so hard to hate you. Bro, Marathon is addictive AF. It got me by the balls. I'm watching right now. Cross made me giggle. It's crazy that people desperately want to try to make him a villain. The Civil War is about the Vanguard's rights. D2 lasted longer than the Confederacy. Who watches the Watchers, indeed? These people are just insane. If you want to kill any hope and dream that your game actually gets any love or attention, this is how you kill it. This is how you take it out back. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize my OBS is leaking over. This is it. And just so this is shout out to Marabots for all the people thinking that you're going to bring down Aztecross. This one is for you, kiddos.
Everybody knows you never go full retard. You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
That one's just for you. ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do you a back-to-back. You know, first off, if you like the video, I should have done this before, but we got into it. If you like the video, hit one of these for me.
Players. You know you want to hit that subscribe button. That's right, players. Hit that subscribe button. Like the video. Don't forget to hit that bell. When you subscribe, you're going to hit that little bell, and there might be another bell. Hit those bells. Ring my bell, player. Ring my bell. Come on, you know you want to subscribe to the channel. Player, if you don't subscribe to the channel, you're a broke boy, and I'm saying it. Now, if you excuse me, I've got to go ruin some modern games by adding more MTX. That's right, baby.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end that video there. I think you guys let me know in the comments. Links for both videos will be down below. Let me know what you think. And yeah, if you're a Marabot, you know what? Good luck to you. That's all I'll say. Until the next time.